Hello, YouTube land, and welcome to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 40. I am your host, Dantes, and of course, joining me, like always, the man, the legend, Caleones. How you doing, Caleones, in this beautiful night?
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? How you doing, everybody? And tonight we have. It's like the last couple of weeks. It's been a little low on news. Nothing extremely interesting. We haven't had a direct or anything like that. So we're been scratching the internet and clawing and try to find something to talk about. So thankfully, Square Enix did give us something to talk about. So we're gonna dive into that. Hopefully, we can make it a bigger conversation than it probably is. But Dantes,
We'll keep
go
it short.
ahead.
It's all good. We keep it short tonight.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. It's probably going to be a little bit shorter than the other ones because of the lack of news. But Dantes, go ahead and start it. Take it over. Do the rigmarole.
So I want to welcome everybody to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 40, right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also remember, hey, you don't want to see ugly faces. We're too ugly guys, I would say, right? We got a solution for you. Go to SoundCloud and iTunes and download this podcast for free. Rate us over there so you can show us some love. Also, we do have a Facebook page called @Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chigurosnews.com and switchcore.net and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, are you ready? I said, are you ready? For the no one attendance and all the people watching around the world, let's get ready for Reggie's Hot Topics of the
My body is ready.
My body's ready. Take it away, Caleones, with the only hot topic of the week.
And we warned you guys. This is the only one so far. So we'll see. Hopefully by next week we can have something more juicy to talk about. But the big announcement this week is that Dragon Quest 11 will be coming to the PlayStation 4 on September 1st. On September 4th. Actually, I'm sorry.
Well, PlayStation 4 and PC. Let's say both.
PlayStation 4 and PC. Okay, so let's give PC like some love, even though we hardly ever talk about PC. But the Nintendo Switch version will be coming much later. How later? They haven't specified, but it sounds like it's not going to be coming out in 2018. It probably will be a 2019 title. But the other piece of news, Dantes, is that the Dragon Quest 11 is out on the 3DS in Japan, but it won't be coming to the 3DS overseas. So this is something that we were talking a couple of days ago about it, and you did say that there was something that you really wanted to say in regards to how Nintendo fans reacted to this piece of news. So Dantes, I'm gonna clear the waves. I'm gonna give you the floor, and I'm gonna let you talk, and I'll address anything after you finish.
So people know in this podcast and people who subscribe, I am a PlayStation fan, but I am a Nintendo fan too. So I can be a little bit more objective than some people. Let me put it that way, including Caleones, I think. But what I would say is, I was looking the comments when the announcement happens. You go to the typical M4G, My Nintendo News, IGN, and stuff like that. You read comments, you try to see. And there was a lot of salt. And I think it got a little bit salty where Nintendo fans felt that it was offensive that Squaresoft was not bringing Dragon Quest on the Switch the same time as the PlayStation 4 version. They felt that there have been companies who have been able to port games so easily on the Switch that why doesn't Squaresoft or Square Enix, I keep saying Squaresoft, I wish they were Squaresoft, Square Enix could do the same. And at the same time, they were also saying that the 3DS version, why they couldn't bring the 3DS version if their game is already made. You just need to translate the game to the 3DS and bring it over to the West so you can play the game now. And they were saying, of course, that quickly fanboys go into the whole, oh my God, Sony paid off Square Enix so they can have the game first. And even though the game is coming in PC, so again, it's not exclusive. I get tired of people saying, "Oh, PC, PC," and even let me put it this way: Nier Automata, it's a console exclusive, but it is not an exclusive. It is on PC. I'm gonna give you another one, and people may hate it. Persona 5. It is a PS4 console exclusive, but it is not exclusive because it's also on the PS3. So in theory, could be, you could say it's a Sony exclusive, but it is not exclusive. Exclusive, people. The term exclusive means it can only be played on the one system. Zelda Breath of the Wild, it is not an exclusive. No, it is not. Woo! Mario Odyssey, it is an exclusive. See the difference? The Last of Us, it is not an exclusive because it came on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3. Game coming, God of War, that is an exclusive. So just to clarify the difference between what is an exclusive and what is not an exclusive. So again, people were saying, oh, PlayStation paid off because you make sure that the game, it was only on PlayStation, even though, again, it's on PC. Oh, my God. Square, you're dumb. What are they doing? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, my God. They could sell the 3DS version and get a lot of sales. So a couple of data points, right? First, the Switch is not as powerful as the PS4. Newsflash for you guys, it is not powerful. They have to make some changes to the way they're putting the game because they're downgrading the game. Hey, the people who did Doom did an awesome job porting Doom to the Switch, but you can't deny it is a really downgraded version compared to the PlayStation and Xbox version. So fit all that game, and we don't know how big the Dragon Quest 11 is going to be. Fitting all that game in the Switch, it's going to take time. Pure and simple. Now the second one. Why did they port the 3DS version? Because to Squaresoft or Square Enix, the 3DS is not big business. And Caleones and I were talking before the start of the podcast, and we only have BG charts. It is not real numbers, but it's what we can go by. And the last Dragon Quest only sold 200,000 in North America on the 3DS. So again, what is the big ticket item right now? The Switch. You want to focus on the Switch? Let's kill the 3DS. Why are you going to play and buy that game now when you know it's coming come out on the Switch? I would be patient. I would just wait for the Switch version and play the Switch version. It is the better version, guys. Right? Anyway, and the other piece about attacking, hey, I'm the first person to attack Square. Final Fantasy 15, I give a lot of crap. It wasn't a great game. But they've been supporting the Switch. They have been. You got games like I Am Setsuna, which is a really good damn game. Lost Fear came out day to day with the other version, guys. And you getting a great freaking good looking damn exclusive that could end up being better than even Dragon Quest 11, which is Octopath Traveler. So this whole crying about Squaresoft and trying to, attack Square because of this type of decisions that they're making, I think they got the reasons. Square clearly stated that the reason they're taking is because they need to take longer to port the game to the Switch. So, with that said, leave the salt out of the door. Yeah, it's fine. It's coming on PlayStation Fair. If you're a multi-console owner and you can't wait, just buy it on PlayStation. Pure and simple. But if you're a Switch owner and you want to have the portability and just play the game because you want it to go on the go, wait for the damn. You got plenty of games to play. It's not like the Switch is dying. It's not the Wii U that you cannot play something else in the meantime. I mean, they got Crash Bandicoot coming up. 3 games in 1. Play that for a while. Anyway, that was my rant, Caleones. I don't know if you want to add anything, but, again, it's not everybody. Nintendo fans, the fans are fine. I think it was more fanboys who were crying, and that's were the people that I wanted to, give this message to. But anyway, go ahead, Caleones.
Yeah, as a Nintendo fan, I wanted to say that I understand completely, and it's uncalled for when it comes to Nintendo fans that are complaining in that way about what Square Enix is currently doing. Like I said, and I said it many times, Square Enix is not. They're not being paid off by Sony. Capcom maybe, but Monster Hunter, but not Square Enix.
I don't agree with that, but that's fine. That's all good.
No, but being honest, Dragon Quest 11 is already out in Japan. It's already out on 3DS. The reason why they're not bringing it over to the 3DS, even though it's going to hurt 3DS owners that they were expecting and they were promised the game. Yes, they promised the game, and that's the portion that hurts. And they were expecting for the game to come over, but it just makes absolute sense that they're not going to devote development time on the 3DS game when they have the Nintendo Switch game as well, which is going to be a better version of it. So if you, I mean, as an owner, Dantes, if you have the option of getting Dragon Quest 11 for the 3DS and getting it for the Nintendo Switch, which version
The
are you going to get?
Switch. There's no contest, Caleones. The Switch version.
Yeah, the only way that it would have made sense for Square Enix to release Dragon Quest on the 3DS is if they would have released it last year, and then the Nintendo Switch version coming over, and there would have been a lot of people double dipping, just getting the 3DS last year, getting the Switch version this year, especially if they let you somehow carry over your saves and things like that. But at this point, they're still devoting time on this, and this is a really big franchise. This franchise in Japan is bigger than Final Fantasy, and Square Enix wants to make sure that the end game, the game that is finished for the Switch, it's on par or at least comparable to the PS4 version because they want to make sure that they sell that game. And I believe what Square Enix is doing is it makes sense from a business standpoint because yes, people want to get the PS4 version, but then in Japan, what is the biggest thing over there? Handhelds, portable, being able to carry the game with you. So there's going to be a lot of those that are going to have the game on the PS4, but they're still going to get the Nintendo Switch version because they can, take it with them. So that's something that some people may hate it, but it makes absolute business sense. And I mean, more power to them if they can, make money that way. But at the end of the day, they should not be rushing the game. They should be taking their time so they can give us the absolute best game possible. And it is not like Square Enix is not supporting the Nintendo Switch. Dantes already stated that we have an exclusive from them in Octopath Traveler, which the game it is a throwback to like the Final Fantasy sixes, like the Chrono Triggers, like those type of games. But the game looks absolutely beautiful. They're listening to the fans. They're making changes. They're making concessions to appease us and to keep us happy. And that's one of those games where, like Dantes said, it does have the potential to be just as good or even better than any of the recent Dragon Quest games that have been coming out. So Nintendo fans, be glad that Square Enix does have this game for us this year, and then this game is going to help us, just wait along with other games. But if you're mainly concentrating with with the library from Square Enix, you're going to have a brand new game this year that nobody else is going to have. Only the Nintendo Switch will, and then next year you can dip your toes into Dragon Quest 11. Something else that I wanted to say quick, and this is some of those games that have been released by Square Enix or that are being worked on by Square Enix for the Nintendo Switch. So you have, for example, Dragon Quest Builders. So Dragon Quest Builders already came out this year for the Nintendo Switch, and the Dragon Quest Builders 2 is another one that is going to be coming out either this year or next year. So that's our two games already from them. Then you have like we said, Octopath Traveler is going to be another one. We have the saga Scarlet Grace is another one that's being worked on. Then we have, of course, Dragon Quest 10 and 11, which is, to be decided when those games will be coming out. We also have Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2. Yes, it's in Japan and not in the US, but those are, other games released by Square Enix for the system. Then going from those, pretty much it's Square Enix. Yes, they're taking their time. Square Enix may not be releasing all their AAA titles or any games that they're making, but you have to understand it is a process. Nintendo, from the very beginning, they wanted to keep the Nintendo Switch close to their chest. They didn't really want to show it to anybody else for fear that somebody may adapt some of the technologies or things like that. So those development kits went later to those companies, and that's why it's taking longer for certain games. But Square Enix and the Nintendo Switch, what they need to concentrate on is making Octopath Traveler the best game that it can be, and then going over to Dragon Quest 11 next year. And another one that I forgot from the Tokyo RPG Factory, Lost Sphere was one that came out earlier this year, and even I Am Setsuna was another one that came out last year. So Square Enix has been supporting the Switch, but I can understand perfectly. Yes, we would love to have every single game on the system. That is just not possible, and that goes for all the consoles, not just the Switch. So just wait. Once the Octopath Traveler comes out, you're gonna hear Sony fans and you're gonna hear Xbox fans and even PC fans asking for the games and asking why it is not available. It is something that happens to everybody, but Nintendo fans, we've already had a great 2017 year. 2018, we are slowly gaining momentum. It seems like there's going to be big releases like Smash, for example, but they haven't particularly been announced yet. So it seems like it's going to be another one of those years where the year is going to close out really strong. But just be patient. The games are coming. The games will be here. And Dragon Quest 11 is even if it is this year or next year, you will get to play it on the Switch.
Only thing I'm gonna say, I truly believe that if Square could, they would be delivering the Switch version the same date as the PS4 and PC version. I mean, it's just business sense. They're not making decisions as a business company to please fanboys. To clarify, they're making decisions based on the resources that they have, what money they can be made, and the pure and simple, if they could, they probably would have the Switch version right next to it. But maybe they have a small team working on the port. That could be happening. Or B, they're focusing on the PS4 version because admittedly, you like it or not, PS4 is the leading console in sales. So most of 99% of the games are going to go to the PlayStation 4. You're just going to have to be patient. And it's the leading. Last generation, the Xbox was a lot of the times the leading platform because that's where the games were selling the most. So it is what it is. You're going to have to wait. And I truly believe Square wants to have the game at the same time as the PS4 PC version, but they can't because of resources, because of what Caleones says. They have the dev kits later, X, Y, and Z, multiple issues. Yeah, I think the only case that you guys could have would be, why don't they just localize the 3DS version? Yeah, you may have a case in that, but is it really worth it to Square to localize it when they see the sales of Dragon Quest 7 and 8 not being that great on the 3DS? Because the Switch is what they're happening right now. Switch is the happening toy. So they want to hit the biggest market that they could get with the resources that they have, and that is the Switch version. Okay? Anyway, unless you want to add something, Caleones, I guess we can move to Newsburst.
Yes, we can go ahead and move on to the next one. We're pretty good on this one.
Okay, cool. Still love you guys. Love you, Nintendo fans. I'm happy that you guys, at least this generation, are supporting other type of games, not only Nintendo games. And you can see those with the big wins that we're seeing with the indie games selling so well on the Switch. So good for you guys. And you guys will keep getting games. You'll get Crash this year. And even Xbox. Xbox just announced that they're going to get a second Sea of Thieves, which was No Man's Sky. Anyway, with that said... With that said, let's move on. I always have a good time taking a shot on the Xbox. But
hey, you know what's gonna happen now?
Yeah.
No Man's Sky is gonna be coming over to the Xbox One. Now you're gonna have Nintendo fans, those that like the game, saying, "Hey, maybe it's gonna be coming over to the Switch as well."
No one wants that game. No one wants that game. I don't know why the hell. I guess they were making the jokes of Sea of No Man or No Man's Sea or whatever, and I guess No Man's Sky said, "No, we're the originals. Let's put it on the Xbox." Anyway, with that said, this is not Force In Unison Live. Let's switch to Caleones. We're done with Hot Topics, so that means that we're going straight into Anuma's News Burst. And what is the first piece of news today?
Well, the first piece of news is that the Nintendo Switch has sold over 4 million units in Japan. So this past week, the Nintendo Switch sold another 52,000 units, which makes it over to 4,037,144 units, surpassing the 4 million mark. And this is only in 56 weeks that they've been able to achieve it. So just over a year and a month basically for them to achieve it. And also, this is from our friends over at the Nintendo News. They stated that this is actually not far off from the Wii. The Wii was able to reach the 4 million milestone in 54 weeks. So the Switch is just 2 weeks behind the Wii when it comes to it. But Dantes, something that you got to consider is the Wii came out, close to the Christmas season, so they had the holiday push. So by the time they enjoyed their second, their year, and they went over to the other cycle, people were getting ready to buy the system, getting it for the holidays, and making sure they secured it for the family members. The Switch came out in March, so it won't be for another 6 or 7 months before they start to enjoy the holiday push for sale. So that's, I believe, is pretty impressive for the Switch.
Yeah, good job. We knew that the Switch, as soon as they showed the prototype, we knew that this was going to be a huge hit in Japan. No doubt about it. They should be passing the PS4 by this year. So, hey, awesome job. The Japanese market will eat up this system, and you get games like Octopath Traveler who are going to push more systems in Japan. So, anyway, good job by the Switch. And Kimishima's ranking up that money. Anyway, let's move to the next piece of news.
Okay, and the next one is that, there were some people saying that it was kind of odd that some third-party Nintendo Switch docs were breaking the systems, basically stating that, hey, maybe it's Nintendo that they did something to prevent third-party docs from being purchased and they want their first-party docs. But it seems like there might be a simple answer for this, and this is coming from a Reddit member Intoxicus5, which stated that the USB-C protocols in the Nintendo Switch do not play nice with third-party products and could possibly be related to the breaking issues. So this is something that it has been in place since the Nintendo Switch was made. So before any third-party docks were made or anything. So it's not an update that Nintendo has done to change it. It's just how the system has been programmed since day one. So do you still believe that this is Nintendo causing the issues themselves with some updates, or it's just that people still haven't figured out how to create these like the peripherals and things for the system?
The update could have impacted, but again, I'm not a technical mastermind. I don't know. So it could be, but I think it's better, like always, stick up with the official license stuff. If it's not official license by Nintendo, be careful. I think that's always going to be the best advice for any product, Caleones.
Okay, and moving on to the next one, and this is like some really good news for Super Mario Odyssey fans, and it is that 2 new costumes have been introduced: the satellite view suit and helmet, and the baseball uniform and batting helmet have been introduced to the game. If you go over this is already live, if you haven't updated the game, go ahead and update it. So you can go over to the store and purchase the new costumes. But Mario is looking pretty sharp and pretty good with them. So I would recommend it. They're actually not as pricey as the other one, especially the medieval suit. So you should be able to buy it right away, or just play a couple of like maybe 30 minutes to an hour, so you can afford getting the uniforms. But like I said, Mario looks sharp, so go get it and get dressed in them. Moving on to the next one, we have the ARMS director, Kosuke Yabuki. He's talking about ARMS and how the game might be represented in Smash Brothers. So this is coming from a Polygon interview. They were talking to Kosuke Yabuki, and he asked, they asked about ARMS being represented in the game, and he stated that, I think the correct reaction is to say, I can't answer that. So right now, he can't really say if the characters will be featured of the game, but he did say that another thing I'd say is that ARMS is so young, it's only a year old, that maybe it's too early to think about that. But I think it's absolutely fantastic that there are people out there talking about ARMS characters in that way. So of course, ARMS, it is a fighter, so people would expect some of those characters to carry over and be featured in Smash. But if you can see, like they just did a reveal, and they showed the Inklings that will finally be featured on the game, and the Inklings with Splatoon 2 were introduced back in 2015. ARMS just came out in 2017, so maybe through an update or something else, they finally will be shown. But it seems like it's gonna be a little while before they do so, Dantes.
So the only thing I'm gonna say, if they put the ARM characters, you don't put any Xenoblade characters, there's gonna be some hell to pay to Nintendo. I'm gonna get to Reggie's house, and my food is gonna be you know where, Caleones. But anyway, I don't care. I don't want to see ARM characters in Smash. I think they're dumb. Make sure to stick with the good ones, like Xenoblade characters. I add 5 more Xenoblade characters than before you put the first ARMS characters. The only way I'm gonna say. But anyway.
Well, I'll say the only way that Xenoblade deserves is because I mean the game has been out for years. I mean, considering the first Xenoblade, then X, and now Part Two. But I'll say ARMS characters they're fully deserving to be featured on Smash. And of course, Smash is the ultimate crossover, which can ultimately help Nintendo sell more ARMS games. And in that note, just so you know, I believe tomorrow, well, actually, it's going on right now. Right now, guys, the arms test punch, it's happening. So please go to the eShop, download the test punch, and go ahead and play it. If you haven't tried it before, this is a great opportunity for you to try out the game. If you have tried it before and you don't own the game, then go ahead and download it so you can get more time into it. We're definitely going to do some fighting on there. So, guys, go to the eShop, download it, play it, have fun. It's only going to be for a couple of days, so take advantage right now.
Yeah, okay, let's go. I don't want to hear about ARMS right now. Let's go.
It's ARMS. Stop. I mean, everybody loves ARMS.
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's go.
Well, I can understand why, because the next piece of news is coming from the Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
There you go. That's better.
So, with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, there was actually an update for this game. And it is that Nintendo has confirmed that Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it's getting an update. It's going to be version 1.3.1. It fixes problem with disappearing common blades, which is the one that we had previously talked about. So, guys, if that happened to you, go ahead and it should just be a matter of turning the Nintendo Switch system on. The update is going to be done automatically. The update is already available, so take advantage of it. So that's not going to happen to you again.
And the big piece is that they're going to add more quests for the Season Pass owners. So, again, I'm waiting for all of them to fall in. When they're done, then I'll play the game again. But right now, I'm going to let them all get through. So.
Okay, so moving on to the next one. There's a firmware update for the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. This is, once again coming from my Nintendo news. The Nintendo has released a brand new update for the system. It is currently available, but you have to go over to the system settings. So basically, if you want to update your Joy-Cons, go to select home menu, scroll down to the system settings, go to the control settings, update the controllers, and it should take only a couple of seconds for them to update. So I'm not exactly sure what it does. Nintendo hasn't really specified what the update is for, but considering that they've had issues previously, just make sure that you go in and you update the Joy-Cons.
Yep.
Okay, and moving on, Suda51 is working on a secret game. Suda51 creator, and the creator from the No More Heroes franchise and the new Travis Strikes Again game, which will be coming out this year. It has been teased on the Famitsu edition, and they're stating that there's going to be a new franchise. They haven't exactly said what type of game, but Goichi Suda said, actually, we're also developing ... But they didn't really say exactly. But Famitsu did say it's finally coming. I can't help but they have expectations for it. So Dantes, we already know about Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. This is going to be a secret game. It's a brand new game. What type of game do you believe it is?
Suda's type of game. Something weird, something quirky, something perverted. He's a little bit of a pervert, so something to that extent. I don't think it's in the No More Heroes world. I think it's a brand new game, So hey, we'll see what happens. Maybe the biggest question I think is it gonna be a Switch exclusive, or is it gonna come out to every system? So we'll see.
Yeah, but just to give a little perspective, so some of the games from Suda 51's library. So you have the Shadow of the Damned. Of course, you have the No More Hero games. You have they've worked on Fatal Frame. They worked on Flower, Sun, and Rain. Lollipop Chainsaw and Killer is Dead and Killer 7. So those are some of the games that they worked on previously. Maybe it's a sequel to one of them, or maybe it's just a completely new one. So, but it seems like Famitsu and Suda 51, they're getting ready to show the game pretty soon.
Yep, agreed.
Okay, and going over to the last piece of news, Dantes, and this is that Square Enix announces a new development studio, Luminous Productions. So basically, this is going to be a new established studio. It is based in Tokyo, Japan, and it is established for the purpose of developing AAA titles and bringing in innovative game and other entertainment content to a global audience. So the people that have they basically most of the people that are on the new studios, they are the team behind Final Fantasy 15. So yes, the studio has been established, but the game might take 15 years before we first see it. But this is also from the Square Enix Group Studio, Square Enix Incorporated, Luminous Productions, and so it is a joint effort between some of those internal teams from there. They do not have any announcement right now, but they did say that they have a new project that will be revealed at a later date. Hopefully, it's not just going to be an expansion to Final Fantasy 15 and will be a brand new game.
So this studio is also led by Tabata-san, who is basically the director of Final Fantasy 15. So I don't know. Like you said, I think there's more of a chance that we're gonna see this game when we're dead. So not much hope. I mean, Square just takes too long. For AAA gaming, honestly, their Western studios do a better job pushing out games than the internal studio in Square. So it is sad. I mean, how many years Kingdom Hearts, and we think it's coming out this year, but we still don't have a release date. And then of course Final Fantasy VII remake. That thing, I think that's coming out PlayStation 7. Let me put it that way. But anyway, joking aside, hopefully this new studio can be more focused and they can speed up a little bit of the AAA gaming development, because Square Enix, it is not the same as it used to be in the past. So.
Yeah, and coming from Tabata-san, like you stated, I wanted to tell people, yes, he worked on Final Fantasy 15, but don't get too encouraged on what could be coming, because just for example, this is the games that he's worked on. He worked on Before Crisis, Final Fantasy 7, Last Order, Final Fantasy 7, Crisis Core, Final Fantasy 7. So, but I mean, they're all from the same, basically the same setting, same world. Yep. Then you have the Final Fantasy Type O, the Final Fantasy Agito, Final Fantasy Type O HD, Final Fantasy Brave X Views, and then you have the Kingslave, Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy 15. So my point is that whatever game that he works on, you're probably gonna see prequels, sequels, in a multitude of different games based on the same world, instead of having one new game after another. So that's, I believe, the type of projects that he likes to work on, just to make sure that he tackles as a specific world from every single angle. And with this being not only games but maybe entertainment, so it could be smartphones, games. It could be, like cartoons, movies. Who knows what they'll be coming up. But if you go back to Final Fantasy 15 and the treatment that is received, it is a console game, but it is also a smartphone game. The game also received a movie as well. So they tackle the game with different forms of entertainment, and it seems like that's the blueprint from him and what we possibly will see from this new studio.
And I think that hurts the game, because it's really a fragmented game. But anyway, with that said, we shall see, Caleones. We shall see. But with that, we have ended Onuma's news burst. But it's time to move on, Caleones. So, what is our favorite store, Caleones? What is the store that we go to watch the latest and greatest and hottest game on the market?
It is the Shigeru's Supermarket.
Bing. So what do we have today in the market, Caleones?
Okay, so today we have a pretty good, a couple of pretty good games coming out. So just to tell you, so we have the Neo Geo Sengoku 3. We have Cluster Puck 99, Gacha Racing 2, Load Runner Legacy, Tengai for the Nintendo Switch, The Adventures of Bertram Fiddle Episode 1, A Dreadly Business, The Charming Empire, Word Search by Pogi, Some Billy, Atelier Lighty and Sewell, and I would murder that name. The Alchemist and the Mysterious Paintings, D Generation HD, Outlast 2, and Warp Shift.
I guess game of the week is Outlast 2. I mean, I think it's the biggest game of that week. So again, Nintendo's getting a lot of games.
That one in Atelier as well.
Oh, I don't know that game. What's that game, Caleones?
Well, it is. I'll say probably the best way to explain that game and how it plays is maybe taking a look at the like the hack and slash Dragon Quest type, not Dragon Quest, but Dragon Quest Heroes or Warriors. I'm sorry, like the Dynasty Warriors and things like that. So it plays a little bit like that, but it is still an RPG-ish type game. So that's the best way that I could describe it. But overall, it does seem like a pretty nice game. But we'll see. It is more, I'll say, more turn-based battles than anything. So it is an RPG at heart. But it is, from what I hear, because I haven't played it, like a worthwhile type experience.
Okay. Thank you, Caleones, for that recommendation. But with that, we're done. Sweet. I do want to thank the person who subscribed. Thank you. Happy that we got another subscriber. Hopefully we keep up growing. And like we stated, once we get to 1,000, we will do more tournaments. So we are close. So next Wednesday, you guys remember the championship match. Eddie and Hype Beast go one-on-one to see who gets the $50 eShop card. And of course, get us to 1,000 so we can then announce our next tournament, Caleones. So anyway, please look forward to that. But with that said, Caleones, let's do that sweet rigmarole ending. Boom. Let's do this. So I want to thank everybody for watching the Get In and Get Out Nintendo Podcast episode 40 right here at the Force In Unison Gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also remember, if you don't want to see ugly faces, it's all good. We got a solution for you. Go to SoundCloud and iTunes and download this podcast for free. Rate us over there so you can show up some love. Also, go to the description box below so you can see the full channel schedule. Please remember, on Mondays, Xenoblade Mondays. Tuesday, Force In Unison Live. Wednesday, Streaming Wednesdays. And of course, Saturday, this beautiful, beautiful show. Also, we do have a Facebook page called @Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and switchcore.net and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, thank you again for joining us. Good night, everybody.